Globalization, advances in technology, the increasing pace and volume of data and information, the interwoven nature of sociopolitical, economic, and environmental issues at the local and international levels. These things have all significantly increased the complexity of the tasks and issues faced by leaders. To be able to effectively deal with these complex and multidimensional issues, organizations are becoming more and more reliant on teams. As a result, the role of team leadership is increasingly identified as the core factor in the success or failure of organizations. Teams give organizations the agility that is required to handle ever-changing and complex local and international issues. Organizations that have effective teams benefit from greater productivity, more effective use of resources, better decision-making and problem-solving, better quality products and services, and greater innovation and creativity. In this video, we will learn about team leadership and how a leader can promote a team's performance. Team can be defined as a bounded and stable set of individuals interdependent for a common purpose. Similarly, Hill defines a team as a group that is composed of members who are interdependent, who share common goals, and who must coordinate their activities to accomplish these goals. Some examples of teams include project management teams, quality teams, event management teams, and task forces. In a team, all the team members need to work collectively to be able to achieve their shared goals. Okay, what is involved in effective team leadership? And what is the role of leaders in this regard? Traditionally, team leadership referred to an appointed and formal team leader who performed the required behaviors to lead the team. In today's environment, however, it has been recognized that many teams do not necessarily have a formally designated leader. In those teams, leadership is not tied to a specific individual. In fact, leadership is undertaken by different team members as situations warrant. There are two things we need to know about concerning teams. They are, firstly, that teams provide leadership to organizations, and secondly, that team members are responsible for leading their own work. So we know that responsibility within the team may shift among leaders and team members over time. Amos and Klimovsky tell us, for a team to be effective, key functions must be enacted by team members who often lack formal authority. That is, team members share leadership. Peers and colleagues also tell us that shared leadership occurs when group members actively and intentionally shift the role of leader to one another as necessitated by the environment or circumstances in which the group operates. Team members take on leadership roles to help the team maximize team effectiveness. Shared leadership means that the power in the group is fluid and dynamic and shifts from one member to another. As opposed to hierarchy, the flow of power within the team is called heterarchy. Heterarchy is critically important in successfully dealing with global issues. The traditional authority structure in organizations often does not support lateral decision-making. But teams that demonstrate heterarchy enjoy a high level of agility and velocity in responding to complex issues. Shared leadership, however, involves some risk and requires some courage from the team members who decide to take a leadership role. First of all, we should consider that team members can choose whether or not to take on a team leadership role. Just because a team needs leadership in a given situation doesn't mean that a team member would necessarily step forward to provide leadership. But what factors affect a team member's decision to step forward and take on a team leadership role? Amos and Klimovsky identified three key factors that might influence this choice. Subjective risk. If a team member who has the potential to act as a team leader in a given situation perceives that the risk of failure is high, he or she might decide not to step forward. Factors such as lack of clarity about the team objectives, multiple ways to achieve a specific team goal, or a high chance of significant physical or professional risk to others may increase subjective risk. Another factor that affects a team member's willingness to take up a leadership role is a team member's moral awareness to act ethically to improve the situation. For example, a team member might decide to adopt a leadership role when they realize that inaction could lead to poor outcomes for the team. The third factor is courage. Team members who exhibit courage are more likely to step forward and act as team leader under conditions of risk. Amos and Klimovsky emphasize that confidence, character, and as well as credibility underlie courage. As values, preferences, expectations, and priorities associated with addressing issues vary from country to country, dealing with global issues may bring some level of disagreement and conflict among nations. But because international issues engage multiple nations and generations, people from different countries and different cultures need to work collaboratively to deal with global issues. For this reason, shared leadership plays a critical role in achieving international development, as teams with shared leadership benefit from more trust, more cohesion, and more consensus and less conflict compared to those teams with formal leaders.